Right, guys, welcome to Rein It In Horse Racing. Welcome to our Cheltenham preview shows. We're going to do things a little bit different this year. We're going to try and look at different days separately. We're going to get different guests on as well to look through them all. So we're going to do day one today, and we're delighted to be joined by Jack from Racing Interest. Jack, thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, Craig. Nice one for having me. I'm looking forward to it. It's nearly time now, isn't it? What is it now? 5 days away, 6 days away. So, yeah, I really can't wait.
No, listen, we're really looking forward to it. And like I say, thanks for coming on. We're gonna try if we can to sort of rattle through the races without dwelling on things too much. So the aim is on the show, and the same with the next ones as well, is we're going to try and look at aiming no more than about 5 minutes on each of the races. So we'll try and give you guys that are listening a bit of a snapshot of the race, what our fancies are without going into too much detail. And I would imagine stuff like the Champion Hurdle and the Mares Hurdle might not even take that much of his time up. But we will crack straight on. So day one, opening race, the Supreme. We'll look at the current betting on the market at the moment. Ballyburn is still there. All these are all from Odds Checker, by the way, so it's all the current best odds that you can get. Ballyburn is still the even money favourite. Mystical Power 7-2. Tullyhill 4-1. Firefox 4-1. And it's then 7-1 Jericho de Repene, 8-1 bar those. So, Jack, we'll just dive straight in. Have you got any key thoughts on this race at this moment in time? I'm assuming, obviously, it will all resolve around Ballyburn. If it doesn't run, it looks like today, as we're recording, that he's probably going to go to the Ballymore. So does that open things up massively now in terms of this field?
Yeah, it does. I think it did all rely on Ballyburn, really, because I was really looking forward to seeing him. I thought he would have suited the 2 mile Supreme more than the Ballymore, but listen, I'm no judge, so I've tried to look away from Ballyburn because I think he get 12-1 today on the exchange, so that almost looks sold out already. So looking at the race, it's a good race, but I don't think there's no superstar as a hurdler in there. I know there's a load of talk about Jericho de Repene. He's come out and won his first 4 races. He won the other Mozzie in his point-to-point, but then on his debut, he won at Newbury, and he won it very starlessly, very calmly, on a stone cold with Nico on board. But I think Slade Steele, there's argument over him if he's going to go back to the Ballymore, but I seen on another podcast with Rob from Rob Corey, he was saying they're going to avoid Ballyburn. And I think if he turns up, it would be an interesting shout, because it does need more of a stay than more of a pacey horse. And you see it against when he won Lecky Watson, he stayed on nicely, but then when he won Kingsfields at Naas, he showed his turn of foot. So he sort of does fit both barriers, really, but I don't know if I could trust him. I really couldn't, because the way they've been talking about him, I don't know if, I'm not sure. I don't think I think he'd have more of a chance if he went to Ballymore and Ballyburn went to Supreme, but I think they're going to go to Supreme now, because Ballyburn's more than likely going to go the Galaxy it's called now, isn't it?
I don't know what it's called anymore, mate.
I know you don't have a clue. I keep calling it fun. All sorts of with Birmingham, Bingham, Ballymore. I don't even know, but I sort of worry if they just resorting back to 2 miles just for the sake of it, because Ballyburn's there. Mythical Power. I'm not sure what's happening with him now. I heard yesterday he's going to the Gallagher's, but now he's back down to 4-5-1 under the exchanges for the Supreme. So I don't know what's happening
there, Jack, with that. I think it's a little bit of people trying to assume who's going to do what, and I think might be one of the factors of everyone's going to try and avoid Ballyburn, but I can't imagine JP putting in Mystical Power and Jericho de Repene in the Supreme. You'd imagine they'd split them up.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And Jericho de Repene is not going to go to Ballyburn, the Ballymore, is he? So that's what I thought. It makes sense to split them up because he doesn't have a Ballymore horse, but on the exchanges, it doesn't seem to be that way now. Yesterday, it seemed like he was going that way, but now the money's come for Ballyburn. It sort of changes. I mean, I know the exchanges can be wrong sometimes, but it is a massive difference in odds when you think about it from this morning to yesterday. So I don't know. Listen, we won't know till Sunday morning, will we? But if you're asking me for a bet now, I like Firefox, but I think he's more of he's a nice 2 mile. He won Ballyburn, of course. I just think there's going to be one there too good for him, and I do think Gerald de Repene is the talk about him. How he's been going at home. His form looking well. His form at Doncaster with Lumpsum and Fiercely Proud both come first and second the next time out. I forget where that was. It was about 2 weeks ago. I forget where it was at the top of my head, but Seeker Squirrel's come out and won since. He does look a good horse. Yeah, it did come to push the shove on him at Doncaster at the end of January, but I sort of like that in the horse. Like, none of these have really been asked the question. Gerald did get asked the question, and if you watch the head on, I watched it the other day. If you watch the head on, his head's all over the place. He was still green, although he'd had 2 runs already. It was very green, and I do think he will come on for the run. And I think 7-1 it's a fair price in a field than what it is now. But I think 7-1's a nice price on him, because you're talking about 4-1 on Tully Hill. I can't have Tully Hill. I think he's a lunatic. Slade Steele, I do like Slade Steele, but I think one will have too much class for him. I think Slade Steele will be a top novice chaser over the staying trips. I think next year he'll be on my radar 100%. But in a Supreme, I'm not sure. Although you do need a stayer, I'm not sure. I can't seem to trust him. And then you go down to the likes of Tell Her the Name, which is 16-1. He's not a bad pick. Ben Paulin's horse, but he's flying Ben Paulin, but
he's on fire at the minute.
Sorry?
He's on fire at the minute, Ben Paulin.
Yeah, 100%. But he went to the form he's arranged on Boxing Day, and that ground was it was soft, but it was more on the heavy side, and it was pulled up. And I think with the rain that's coming the weekend, I think that it's hard to trust him, but I think 20-1's quite well on him. But yeah, as I say, Gerald de Repene for me, I think at the prices right now, I think he's 7-1. I think I'd rather be taking the 7-1 on him than the others. That's if Ballyburn doesn't turn up.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think the race at Doncaster, which Jericho Repene won, I think it's quite well documented. When you watch the first 20 seconds of the race, I mean, they don't even start. I mean, nobody wants to go forward. And Nick Henderson, I watched a clip of him and Matt Chapman the other day. I think Matt Chapman's going to interview him. And they were talking about the race, and they were just saying how it was an absolute crawl. And it turned into a 4-furlong sprint, basically.
Yeah.
And when it turns into that, you're not going to see a horse come flying away, are you? It's just not going to happen. They're all going to get into a little bit of a fight. But I don't think it'll do it any harm. If I was to sort of hazard a guess how the race might pan out, I do think Ballyburn will go to the Ballymore. I must admit, I do think he will go there. I can see Tully Hill going in front here and trying to make a call like he did last time. But it might just set it up for Jericho de Repene, or depending on how quickly they do go, something else maybe might come from that. Mr. Jiff is a funny one at 14-1 as well, so I want to give a mention to him. He will look really good on debut. The only problem I've got with it is, and Racing Trends mentioned as well, generally speaking, Willie Mullins' second and third and fourth strings in these races generally do absolutely terribly.
Yeah.
They don't normally do well.
Yeah, they do.
And you are sort of gambling massively on this horse being better than just winning a debut. I mean, debuts in Ireland, without sounding awful, sometimes don't amount to much, do they? Because there's not a lot of horses in the race actually trying. Let's be honest, it's how it is.
You see a superstar, you see about 3 or 4 superstars a weekend, don't you, in Ireland, but they never ever come up to what they look like the first time out.
No, 1,000,000%. So I'm with you. I think Tully Hill, going off in front, it might just set it up for something like Jericho de Repene. I hope Slade Steele does go to the Ballymore as well. I know that's day 2, but I do think he'd run well.
Yeah.
Yes. Right, we'll move on to the Arkle. So a bit of a shake-up in the Arkle market since last night. Gaelic Warrior now is into, best price joint favourite at the minute with Alette Thomas, both at 4-1. Got Founder 55-1. Hunter's Yarn 6s, Quilixios 13-2. It's JPR 115-2, and it is 8-1 bar those. So we'll start off, I think, with the main talking point. Rich has come out and said that Gaelic Warrior is more than likely going to be edging towards the Arkle. Do you think that's a good move for them? Do you think it's probably the right move, or do you think it makes him a little bit prone to a better 2-miler, shall we say?
I don't know, Craig. Honestly, he's an absolute lunatic. He's another one. I don't know how we could trust him. I think it made more sense to send the 3-miler because it'd allow him to settle a bit more. He jumps right. You seen him at Leopardstown the last day when Factor File beat him. He jumps right all the time. He'll end up in the Guinness Village, but not against the other horses. But the race is that bad this year that he could still probably win it.
Well, one thing I would say as well, and I'm sure I'm not talking out of turn here. When we went to Willie Mullins' yard, I had a chat with Patrick when we were there, and I mentioned about Gaelic Warriors' tendency to jump right. The general consensus was on the feedback that Paul had given back is that he didn't feel as though he was particularly jumping massively out to his right overall. He said that there was a couple of jumps where he was slightly going to his right, but it was more predominantly right when he started getting more tired. Hence, obviously, the unseating and things like that. But on the whole, they were happy with his jumping. So that was the sort of feedback that they gave to him after the RF anyway.
Yeah, well, if they think that, they're a lot better judges than I am. So he's the class horse in the race. As I just said, even if he was to jump out to the right, he probably still would be banging in there because I don't think the field's that good. But I've seen people moaning about the field saying, it's a terrible renewal and all that. But one thing he'll guarantee us is a good race because they all are the very similar horses. Like,
it's competitive, isn't it? I think rather than quality, it's competitive.
Yeah, although we want to see good horses go and cant around the field, we want to see a good competitive race as well. Like the likes of the Champion Airlift Constitution Hill was the go, and although State Man is a top class horse, you don't want to go every year and see him cant around and win by 20 lengths every single season. Do you know what I mean? You sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes you do want to see that, but I think some people, especially on Twitter, they want to see it happen every single race at Cheltenham because they like if there's not a superstar in the race, it's an awful race, and it's not always that way. Like this Arkle is a good competitive race, and I'm looking forward to it. Do you know what I mean? It'll be a good competitive race. Whereas obviously Marine bombed out, but he probably was the still a class horse in the field. Do you know what I mean? But now Gaelic's there. He does give the questions for everyone if he does jump right. But going back onto the Arkle, I've stayed away from Gaelic Warrior because I'm jumping right. I think the likes of JPR one on that I can't really have. What's his name? One sec. Sorry, my things just went there. Ilite Toms and Fan 50. The good horses, they'll be in there, but I just think that's their level. And although they did win Marine National and Vassal Vega last time, I don't think that was the real showing of them. The one I have landed on after, because I was on Marine, I've landed on Calixios. What I was told 2 days ago that what he's doing at home is it's blown him away. I was told he's working like the Triumph horse he once was. He is pinging the fences. He's working really well, and I've landed on him on a field that I think the whole field's there for the taking. I don't think he's 8 now, but I think what is he around 6s now? Is he something?
I think his best price 13-2.
13-2, yeah. I think I couldn't touch any of them shorter. I think ideally, although he's not done as much this year as the others, I think he should be more close to the favourite. I think his comeback run when he made a bad mistake, didn't he, at the last, beating Cool Survivor. Rachel lost the reins and she still got him up. He won that going away, and that was over 20-month absence. Like, you can't not be impressed with that. His run over 3 miles, it was a massive indication for Henry that never to do that ever again.
It was a strange one, that was a really strange placement.
Yeah, I just did not get it at all. I just did not get it at all. I seen him there, and I was like, I see how he runs, but I don't know why it made sense. And then his performance showed off that it wasn't all that, was it? It was, I don't know why they sent him over 3 miles. He's not a 3 miler, but his run at Nice, that's what caught me eye with him. He won Safeway and Mr. Policeman, and he won that very nicely. I think he won that a lot nicely than other people go on about. I think he is, even now, he's still going under the radar. That race at Nice was also won by Appreciator and Blue Lord, who were good, 2 good horses. Do you know what I mean? So I think I just think he screams 2 miles around Cheltenham, and I think that Arkle tip, he'll just sit in behind and you'll have maybe a Gaelic Warrior or something, just trying to get the lead, trying to keep them away, keep them at distance. But I think coming around to that the second out in the straight, I think you'll see him join them, and then I can just picture it in my head. I'm just going clear. I really do like Calixios now, because I was a big fan of Marine, even though after what happened at the DRF Festival, I do think Calixios is. I think I've been all over him since Marine was pulled. I think looking at it now, I sort of feel like I was stupid a bit of not noticing it when Marine was, but maybe I just had my goggles on where I just had Marine and no one else. Maybe so, but. Yeah, I think Calixios at 13-2, as you're saying there, I think that's a good bet. Really good bet.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how the arc actually pans out. If they all do run, I mean, I still do think you might see a few defecting possibly to Turners, because again, I think the Turners is a poor race without sort of touching on it too much. You might get a few that might step up in trip, but you can imagine that Gaelic Warrior will want to try and get to the front and try and just a bit like Undersaw, just off it goes and see how long he can stay in front for, and it might bring some of the stayers into play, especially at the bottom of the hill. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it all pans out. I do think Gaelic Warrior is probably the best horse in the race, and I hold my hands up and admit it. I've hammered him left, right, and centre probably before he started chasing, but he looks a different proposition chasing than what he did over hurdles. I don't think his right jumping is as bad as what it was as a hurdler. I thought as a hurdler he was quite bad, violently right. I don't think he doesn't seem as bad over a fence. I don't think he'll go off 4-1. I think if Paul Town ends up riding, I think you could be looking at maybe as probably even as short as 2-1 on the day. So I won't put anybody off backing him now if he fancied him to win the race, but he does come with his quirks. Found a 50. I think he's probably a solid yardstick, although I do think he would be better over a little bit further. Hunter's Yarn, if you've backed him, I think you'd probably be looking through your fingers at most fences because he can throw one in. He's a good jumper, but he's liable just to throw one in just a bit. What was that other Maniac horse that Mullins had? What was that one called? The Grey.
Well, he went off favourite for the Supreme. He went off for the Supreme, didn't he? Favourite.
I can't remember his name now. Just go running, just head into a fence.
Yeah, the front runner. Oh, what was his name now? Hell.
He used to have like a thing where he used to just like fall at like last fences every now and then when he was like
yeah. I backed him for the Supreme one year. The year that I think it was it the year that Shishkin won it. Was it? It might not have been. I'm not sure. I'm sure it was the year that Shishkin won it when he went clear with Abacadabra. Abacadabra's. Oh, what was his name now? Asterion Florence. There we go. Yeah, that's the one.
Right, we'll jump onto the Ultima. So head of the market now attracts a bit of support since he moved ownership. Meeting of the Waters is 5-1. The Gotha is 7-1. Chianti Classico 8-1. Stumptown at 10s. You then got Giovinco and Theatre Man at 12-1, and it's 14-1 bar those. This is a race I really enjoy. I'll be honest with you, I quite like this race at the festival. I think it's always a bit of a minefield to try and pick out the winner. Has anything caught your eye early door, Jack, with this one?
I'm going to be honest. I've been, even for the last 3 months, I've been all over Meeting of the Waters for this. Okay, I am determined that this horse could be a Gold Cup horse. At best, a Grand National horse. I really, really like him, and the fact that JP's come out and bought him yesterday, or was it the day before, just shows he must think a lot of him because he doesn't just buy any dogs. JP, he buys good ones. I think him coming off here, off 147, I can't believe that, because I'd have backed him if he had top weight. He's going to be carrying 11 stone 8. I know that everyone keeps saying to me about the stat about Irish horses. I think one of the last 36 horses, the winners of this race, have been Irish horses. But I think this lad could be a better version of Corach Rambler. That's how good I think, because I think he could go on to win a Grand National like Corach Rambler did. But I think he could go and win a Gold Cup as well. I don't think Corach Rambler could. But I just think Meeting of the Waters, I think he's got the class. I think he'll stay the tip all day long. He's just turning 7. He's just young. I know a load of these are, but this lad's just improving for each one. The only worry I'd have is he did unseat at Leopardstown, the race that Hartwood won at the DRF. That would be my only worry. But apart from that, I'm all over him at this. In the Ultimate, I really, really do like him. I think 5-1.
He
Sorry.
got hampered a bit, didn't he, Jack, to be fair? I think he got hampered slightly, I think, didn't he, by another horse? I don't think he was maybe... I don't think he was
No, yeah, yeah,
necessarily...
yeah. No, yeah. He wasn't brought down. He was just
Yeah.
unseated, and it just worries me. I just don't like the horses just running freely and all that. But I think 5-1 is... It's obviously not an ideal price, but listen, it's always going to be a tough race, but I think we could be getting 5-1 on a 2-1 shot here. If he wins, I really do think he's that good. I really, really do. But of course, I'll try and get you a better price and someone for an each way bet and tell Wayne. Is that how you pronounce it? I say it differently every time I say it.
Mate,
I think
we've got a Scouse and a Yorkshireman on here. Any French or anything like that, mate, it's just whatever it comes out of his mouths.
Yeah. Just say it as it comes. Yeah, tell Wayne, tell on. There we go. Tell on. Kim Bailey's yard. I think he has a solid chance. He's coming in off 144, 11 stone 5. I think he's been well treated. He comes third in a race in December, and if I remember correctly, Ginny's Destiny won it. It was the race where Grey Dawn smashed the last or the second last. Ginny's Destiny won it. Grey Dawn come second, and Kirbilly come fourth. And if you look at that race now from the December meeting, there could easily be, not easily, I don't think there will be, but there could be 4 Cheltenham Festival winners in that, because Kirbilly's going to go the handicap. Ginny's Destiny's favourite for the Turners, and Grey Dawn could possibly win the RSA. So I think that form is probably one of the best forms out there for this season, if I'm being honest. I have races to come from into the festival with. He was then second to Colonel Harry. Again, he was easily treated away over his ideal trip, but he's ran a credible race. And then at Exeter, I think it was a month ago now, I think it was the start of mid-February, start of February, he would come third out of 3. Kirbilly and Tamaris was in front of him. But I just feel like it's a getting ready for March. I don't think he was 100%. I think 18-1 is massive for him. You know, he's an English horse. That's what you want in an ultimate. If you're going off stats, me personally, I'm not one off stats. I just think that if the horse is good enough, he'll win. But I think sell on at a price. I think he could run a solid race. I don't think he'll be good enough. He's only getting £2 off meeting the water. I don't think he's good enough for that. But if anything bizarre does happen, I think he could be there. And just one more for the Goffer. He won a charity race a few weeks ago. He hasn't been altered for that. He absolutely bolted up. I think he opens up a 4-7 and he went offset like 15-8 horse on and bolted up. He's another one who's, if you're talking about stats, a few of the winners have ran in the race before they went on and win it. You know, you're seeing a load of them. Vintage Clouds, Kodak Rambler, a few more from back in the day before when I was a little baby. But yeah, that's another one. I'll give you a little three there. I know the golf is only 8-1, but my main selection meeting the horses, I think he's got a solid chance.
Yeah, I must admit, I was looking at this race last week, the week before, just to sort of see if I could try and get any bets, and I must admit, I was getting just drawn more towards the front end of the market, which I know you don't want to try and do in this sort of race, but I think there's some very, very solid horses in this towards front of the market. Meeting the Waters and the Goffer. Chianti Classico for me is one that I'm quite interested in. I've had a small bet on that already early doors. Kim Bailey seems to get horses for these type of races, and once he gets them right, they seem to do okay in it. And obviously 8-1 now is probably short enough. But I think if you're on at a bigger price than that, I think you'll definitely get a run for your money. Giovinco's interesting as well. Dropping down to this sort of handicap. I think, if I remember rightly, I'm just trying to have a quick look now while I'm on here. I should have done it before. I think it's almost the same rating as where it was its last run. I know it's been put up. But the form of Giovinco's decent, and it's probably more shallower waters than what it has been in the past as well. You just always think that there might be something just lurking somewhere on a decent mark that might just come from out of nowhere. I don't know if you've had anything. Is Jungle Boogie going to run in this race?
I think so. Last time I heard he was going to this race, he's been off a long gap. He was off a long gap and 20. Come behind. Was it El Fabiolo? He come behind.
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah,
ran over 2 miles. I think he come fourth, 12th, but then he stayed on and won a race. Can't remember where it was. Let's have a quick look actually now while we're on it, because it was a horse that he's gone to Henry Bromhead, hasn't he, as well? He was
yeah,
at
he was
Bromhead.
really, really. People
Yeah,
were touting him to be at. I'm sure he was close to favourite for the RSA or the Albert Bar. I can't remember. It was a few years ago now, like. But he was out for 700 and
that was
something
at
days,
Tremor.
wasn't he? Tremor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It was at Tremor. He was getting £3, but he beat Classic Getaway. He
yeah.
stayed on.
And was it Manila Kuna as well? Manila Kuna.
Yes, so that was the race where Manila Crooner came for about 955 mile back, and he
Yeah,
nearly
yeah,
caught
yeah.
the front two. But
Yeah, he
what
caught
I
him.
really
Yeah,
liked about Jungle Boogie that day was that he was on the front end all the way, and then he rallied and came back and won.
yeah. When asked.
Now, yeah, now he could be. I mean, he's best priced at the minute 20-1. So I think he's a horse possibly to have a look at as well, because he might have a little bit of class to him.
Yeah,
And if Henry de Bromley can just gets him there in one piece, gets him right, he could be an interesting one to have a look at. I think at a bigger price. So
yeah. He's one similar to Meeting the Waters. They like what I think Meeting the Waters. They could be the ones that are graded horses in the handicap. That's if it makes sense.
no, million percent, and I think just looking at Jungle Book is 152.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean he's weighted to be decent, but again, like I say, 20-1
yeah.
probably a fair enough shout for him as well. So with plenty of arrows in that race anyway between us. I think we've covered
Yeah.
off most of
I
them.
don't know if
So
it's you as well, though, Faye. Do you think as the years have went on, the Ultimate is just getting a lot better? We seem to be getting a lot more better horses get into the race. I don't know if you feel the same, but I just feel like there's a lot of like last year, Connacht Rambler and Fast or Slower in it. I just feel like the race is getting better and better. The Ultimate never used to be that type kind of handicap, did it? But now everyone's touting it for like national horses and got potential Gold Cup horses.
yeah, 1,000,000%. And I think it's probably why I think nowadays when you're looking at the betting, you're looking towards more the front end. So I think the better fancied horses are towards there. It's generally the better
Yeah,
ones. Like you say, I think I remember with like say Court Ramber and Fast or Slow. I mean, two extremely good horses that went on to win what they have done. Do you know what I mean? So no,
yeah,
I agree with you. I think it's good as well though for Cheltenham that these
yeah.
handicaps are
Well, 100%. Yeah,
like you say, 1,000,000%. And I'd even go as far as to say as well. I mean, the one race that does disappoint me, which we'll touch on shortly, is the National Hunt Chase. Why we always get so little of a field in it, really, to be fair. But anyway, we'll touch on that afterwards. We've got two, in my opinion, fairly quick races to go through, really. So we'll start off with the Champion Hurdle. I'm assuming we're both on State Man. Is there anything else you want to add about any other horse? If you don't, we can move on. It's absolutely fine.
no, Johnny, no, nothing at all. If it comes on the day, I'll probably play the Stray Forecast with Irish points if you want to bet. But apart from that, if you don't like backing odds ons, which I don't, I'd only advise to back the Stray Forecast because I think the two of them are mile clear of the rest. That's it. That's all really. Not really much to add, is there?
Possibly a similar scenario with the Mares Hurdle as well. So Lossy Mouse 8 to 50. I have got a slight view on this, but I'll let you go first in case you want to add anything to it. Because I know Lossy Mouse quite a warm order 8 to 15.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I was completely in the opposite side of the boat at the start of the season. I was calling out on my Twitter space. I was calling out saying Lossy Mount is the worst price favourite at the festival because I think she was 5-2 in like October, and I was like, she's not down to stay. Galamarso is going to be better than her over 2 mile 4. And listen, it just shows that we can all be wrong in racing, and I was so wrong. I think Lossy Mouth is an absolute certainty. I think I didn't get the 5-2 like some people did. I know some people got even higher, but I think she will not get easier. I think she's a class horse. I think she'll win this and then go for the Champion Hurdle next year. I think that'll be the plan for William Richie Rich. But again, if you want to bet, I wouldn't give up on Gala Marceau. I really wouldn't. I know she bombed out of Punjatan the other week, but I think 20-1. I think she can run into a place. So you'll probably get 4 places. I think it's she has disappointed. I really fancied the Doncaster when National Diamond won, and she disappointed there. And then Tarnem was on it at Punjatan. She got beat 18 lengths by Hispanic Moon. I'll have an each way bet on it because I just do think there's a good horse in there over 2 mile 4. I just don't think she's showed it yet. But listen, it's one of them, and it's just if Lossy Mouth she's going to win, isn't she? I feel like I don't think there's anything doubting that. I'd like that showdown, but I don't think she's near the level that Lossy Mouth is. I know the story's written for Love Envoy to win before she goes off, and I think she's retiring, so the story's there, like last year with Honeysuckle. But I think it's Lossy Mouth, and if you want an each way player, Gallimar so each way, I think she's about 20-1.
Yeah, so that's 16 now, I think, best price. No, all I was going to say is I think everything points towards Lossy Mouth winning. I just don't think I could put her in any ACCAs at 1-2. I think that is a little bit too small.
Too much of a risk, isn't it? With like I said before, with the distance, she's got to come up an extra 4 furlongs. So it's too much of a risk.
And it could be soft. It could be soft ground as well. So I mean, exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's not like she's running over a quick 4 furlong. It might be a little bit softer. So this isn't me saying that it's not going to win. I'm just saying that I think at 1-2, which she's probably going to go off 1-2, it might be a little bit short, possibly depending. I'd just be edge on the side of the course. It's probably a watch race for me, I would imagine. Probably a bit of a watch race and see what happens. Astro Diamond could be the one to maybe have a little bit of danger if she doesn't stay. But that's the mare's head anyway. Right, we'll go on to the Boodles handicap. So we've got Lark in the Morning, 5-1 favourite. Batman's Urac at 7s. Darwy 8-1. Melantino 8-1. Woodhoo 10s. And it's 11-1 by those. First of all, have you had a bet in this race?
I've actually had 3 bets.
Handicaps you've got to do sometimes.
Yeah, I've got a decent price on Lark in the Morning, but I wouldn't advise anyone backing him at the price because I don't think he'll like the ground that's going to turn up. I backed Jose Partia. I was advised to back him. I think the stable think very highly of him, and he's very well handicapped apparently. But the one I like personally is Royal Way, Gary Moore. I'm trying to come away from the top of the market because I feel like you've got to try and get some value. You know, this race always shows up the same. But Royal Way for me. I think you could try and look at the top of the market, but I'm trying to try and go outside the market and try and find a bit of value. Runs out of the Gary Moore stable. I've been speaking to George about how to move right off for Gary Moore, and he thinks a lot of this horse. He thinks he's a very nice horse. I think he's very well handicapped. I think he's carrying close to bottom weight, 10 stone 11. I think he's got a good chance. If you're looking at place terms, I think he's solid to get it up there for the place because I'll just go through his form. He comes second behind Sergino. He beaten 15, 14, then something like that. But he was, I think, Niall Houlihan sort of knew his day was done that day and knew Sergino was not going to be for catching. I thought he just took it easy. He ended up finishing 7 or 8 lengths clear of the third. And when he comes second that day, I did track him for the Boodles because I thought I did already think highly of Sergino, so I thought I'll track him because you always try and find the form in behind the good ones for the Boodles. And he's come out since and won twice. He won River Gold by 17 lengths. He absolutely canted around at Ludlow. He absolutely canted around on soft ground. That was close to heavy. So I think if he does come up soft, which is looking like it's going to, he wouldn't have the issue with the grounds. And then he come out the start of December, just before the DRF, just after the DRF, and finished first. He beat Ithaca's Arrow, which he's another one who when we talk, I think he's a very good horse. He beat him by a short head, I think, but he was very, very lame, very green. He wasn't the same as he was at Ludlow the last day. But he beat Ithaca's Arrow, and Ithaca's Arrow went out and won since. He bolted up. I can't remember where it was exactly at the top of my head, but he's come out and bolted since. I think 20-1 for the Royal Way. I think that is a solid bet because he's done hardly anything wrong. He's been beat by Sergino. He's beaten a Sandan on heavy ground, but it come out that he would have needed the run. But I think Royal Way 20-1. I think he's got a solid each way claims. You can make argues about them all. Last the morning, he he seems the superstar. He's been handicapped out of the boards, but he won't like the ground. Nara, she finished fourth behind Eagle Fangs, who's also in the race. I think it was 4 of the last 6 winners or something have come out of that race of the Boodles. So if you want to look into that, Jose Partia come 10th in the DRF behind Carkeys. He was given an easy time, but apparently that horse is it's meant to be a good horse for Martin Brazel, and that's been the aim's being this race. So it sort of tells you why all the 0s and the 8s and all that are in his record. I think they had bigger plans like this, and he's shortened a lot. I think he's 12-1 now. But yeah, you could try and make arguments at the top of the market. I'm going to try and look at the bottom of the bottom of the market. Sorry, but I'm going to look at the top, and there's nothing really catching your eye. You could back at a price, so I'm going to start with the Gary Moore horse. I think 20-1 could look big on the day. I think he'll shorten a lot. Not a lot. I think he'll shorten a touch, but I think 20-1 for him. I think there's worse 20-1s out there in day one.
No, I agree. I think there's a couple in here for me. I think Ose Party, if that's how you say it, definitely one that's caught my eye. There were little whispers about obviously like in the morning on the ground, what's going to happen there. So again, if it does turn up soft or slower than soft, that might have an impact if that runs. If it doesn't run, I think that's going to come in for some support as well. The one horse apart from that I've got a bit of an interest in is Cossack Chak, if that's how you say it, or Cossack Catch or whatever it is. That got beat. I think it was a neck by Woodhoo, who's now 10-1. They go off level weights here as well. And if you look at its last run, he came. I think it was at the D? No, it wasn't. It was over Christmas. It was on Boxing Day. Now he carried. I think it was top. Was it top weight or pretty much top weight? He was carrying in the same race as Ose Party, but you had Calaconte won it, Cargi second, Nürburgring third, Batman Girac fourth, and Carafon was fifth. Cossack Chak finished sixth, but it only finished 7.5 lengths off the winner. Now, when you consider that it was giving weight away to pretty much to predominantly all of them in the field, apart from Nürburgring, I think it's quite a little bit of decent form. We haven't seen it since, which probably suggests that he might be getting left for the race. And the other bit that caught my eye about this horse is that if Lark in the morning for whatever reason doesn't run, that would then become Joseph's first string in the Triumph, because Nürburgring was going for the sorry. It'd be his first string for the Boodles because Nürburgring's going for the Triumph. So I think he's 16-1 at this moment in time, and I don't think that will stay long, based on its form. I think he's been forgotten about a little bit, if I'm honest with you. So I think at 16-1, I'd probably be happy to give him probably a bit of a squeak alongside Ose Party as well. I think they're probably the two I'm going to go for. I'm going to try and stay away from some of the ones at the front. I think a couple of them. Batman Girac, I couldn't really trust. Melantino's interesting, obviously finishing third behind Vedette Road and Sergino. Woodhoo, I don't know if there's any more improvement to come. It's obviously won quite a lot now on the bounce, so whether there's more improvement there or not, I'm not too sure. So I'd be happy to slide around that one as well. So that's the Boodles. So now the final race of the day, which is the National Hunt Chase. Not a lot of horses left in here anymore. Corbett's Cross is now a 50-8 top price favourite. Embassy Gardens 9-4. Salvador Ziggy 9-2, and it's 8-1 bar those. Meeting of the Waters is also priced up in here, which I don't think is going to run in here as well, so just be cautious of that. Bit of a strange one, this race, to be fair, Jack. I know Embassy Gardens, for me, looked really impressive. Looked an out-and-out galloper, jumped well. But then you've got Corbett's Cross, which is 50-8 favourite, probably the classer horse in the race, but will he stay?
Yeah, it's a weird race, isn't it? And it'll probably end up a four-run race, to be honest, because 3-car Bragg, I've been told, isn't going. I know come out the other day on road to Cheltenham that he don't think he's going. Henry Friend probably won't go. Apple Away might go, but I think she's trying to get. I think Lucinda's trying to get her in the ultimate, but she needs a lot of load to come out. Bout of Greatness is going to go the handicap. You could be. I'm Meeting at the Water is going to go the ultimate. You could be talking about a 4-5 runner race here. And yeah, I do like Corbett's Cross, but again, listen, I'm not taking anything away from this run over Christmas against Clare West. I think Clare West is a very, very good horse. I'm gutted he's out. I think he would have stood a good chance. He obviously fell with Elvis won, but it wasn't really a fall. I think the horse fell in front of him, didn't he? And he sort of had no chance, really. Yeah. But you look through his form is actually good. Before he ran out, he won found the 50. He's found 50 favourite now, isn't he, for the Arhol? He's finished behind. Yeah, he's been beat by Grange Clare West twice, but the first day of Nice was his debut over fences, and I just can't trust him. I've tried to try and find a way to try and back him, but I can't trust him. I think MC Gardens is. I think he's got a solid chance. MC Gardens. I think what he done to Sandor again at Nice at the end of January was a really, really good performance. Like, he won Let's Go Champ at Punjstan in mid-December, and that was impressive. But what he done to Sandor Kagan was just, it was different. I just jumped on him straight away for the National on Chase when he won that race in January, and I just think he's a lot better than these. Salvador Sigi has been given the right prep, because everyone's moaning about he hasn't been seen since October, since he went to the Grand National in America. But that has been the prep. That's what he'd been wanting to do. But yeah. I couldn't trust him. No, I really couldn't trust him. You're looking around the market. Could you trust Corbett's Cross at 15-8? You might not even stay. Salvador Sigi has been at a long layoff. I know they're saying it works, but it doesn't always work. I think MC Gardens at 9-4. When you think about it sensibly, 9-4, you'd rather be taking 9-4 than MC Gardens. He's blown a what people thought was a Grade 1 horse at one stage. Sandor got out the waters, won him by 10-11 lengths, and then he's won 13 lengths on Chase debut, and then he's done much wrong, really, has he? And he's 9-4. I think Corbett's Cross. He as you said, he does look the class horse in the race, but can you trust him to stay? He ran out at Cheltenham last time out. You know, you can't really trust him at 15-8. And Salvador Sigi, I'm happy to let him win at 9-2. I'm happy to be wrong at 9-2 and let him win. So I think MC Garden, I think he's going to take some stopping. I think if he does get stopped by a horse, he'll take a very, very good one. I think Corbett's Cross would be the one to stop him. I couldn't really trust Salvador Sigi. Kilbeg King, he ran third behind Elie Francais in the Courto Star, didn't he? But then he was beat by Henry's friend at Ascot. So again, the form. I know Henry's friend's in this race, but they're not great. They're not graded horses. Them, I don't think. I think it is between the top three. And Salvador Sigi, I'm happy to let him win at 9-2. And it does take me down to the bottom two. And it'd have to be MC Garden for me. I think if you're talking about, if you've given me 5-2 on them both, I'm going to take the trust the one. I feel like I can trust MC Garden. I know he didn't enjoy himself around Cheltenham last time out in the Albert Bartlett, the same race as Corbett's Cross was in, but I can't trust Corbett's Cross. I don't know what it is about me. I think he'll stay, but it's just a question of if he will. I sort of know that MC Garden will stay. So he won going away at Nice, and that was over 3 miles or something, wasn't it? So yeah, I think MC Garden for me. I think MC Garden's the one to be on here, 5-2. I think he's not only the sensible bet, but I think he's the classy horse, the solid horse in the race. Corbett's Cross, I'm happy for him. I'm happy to be wrong with him. But yeah, MC Garden. I sort of talking about them, but MC.
Go on, mate. Go on.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah, go on. Can now.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying that I sort of went off on one there, but I do like them both. But I'd rather take the 5-2 on MC Gardens. I think I'd trust him a lot more than Corbett's Cross.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think MC Gardens is for me the more likely winner. I think the slight drift in it was, I think there's been a couple of previews where I think Patrick's almost bowled up Corbett's Cross rather than bowled up Embassy Gardens a little bit, I think, really, in terms of the
Yeah.
form and things like that. I have got to make I'm not saying make a case, but I do hope that Mr. Van Gogh runs a good race. He won last time out by 60 lengths at Exeter after being put up a
Yeah.
trip to 3 mile 6 river. Don't get me wrong, there's probably trees in behind him. But obviously, with the late Matt Bradstock and things like that, it would be a fitting winner. Let's say, just as it would be obviously for Patrick to win with it being now called the Maureen Mullins National Hunt Chase. So there's a lot of stories to be written in this race. Let's put it that way. I think.
Yeah.
Depending on who wins it, but no, I think like you said, there's probably going to be about 4 or 5 runners in there. I would actually be tempted, to be fair, to risk an each way bet on Mr. Van Gogh at 25-1, just in case it does.
Especially if the rain comes down.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I think if it goes off soft and it becomes a forerunner race or something daft like that, if they all go off like the clappers in front or something like that, or the race starts to fall apart, this lad's just going to keep staying on and staying on and staying on, so it might run into a play. So I don't think, to be honest with you, a 25-1 shot each way is probably the worst bet that you could put on. I don't think, really, to be fair, considering, like we said, that the race is going to completely fall apart. So,
yeah.
Cool, right, okay, mate. Well, listen, we've done that in quite decent time, to be fair, again. So thank you very much for complying with the rules of trying to be as quick as we can on them all. All the best for next week. What days are you down there again? Is it Tuesday?
Yeah, I go down Monday morning. I go down, going for a few pints at Cheltenham on Monday, and then I'm there Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'm on Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, right? Okay. Well, might catch up for a pint with you down there then as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for coming on, and all the very best, mate, for next week. Hopefully,
you too. Nice one for having me.
For us all. No worries,
yeah,
mate. All right,
that's it. Thanks. Nice one.
Catch you.